Hello everyone, today I'm here to give you a quick overview of the input-output connection in Veronte. Today we will work in the PDI Builder, in the input-output submodules. To ease the explanation, I will use the Embention eVTOL configuration template, which is available in the cloud. It will be easy for you to download it and to use it as a reference. It's straightforward to see that there are different overlays for what concern the input output setup, the CAN setup, the digital input, which is for everything correlated with the ECAP and the GPIO, and for the serial communication, in which we can select the baud rate, the parity bit, for the Veronte loss, RS45, RS222. What I want to show you now is how you can allow the autopilot to communicate with some connection. For example, imagine that we want to communicate with the ground control station through the Veronte loss. What we will need to do is just to link the Veronte loss producer bidirectionally to one of the communication port. You will just need that this communication port is not removing other connection if they are used, and that the number associated with this communication port is connect both as a consumer and as a producer to the same connection. In the same way, we can easily detect that the RS45 at the moment is not used. We can imagine that the Embention eVTOL is not using the RS45 or 485 at all. What we can do is that to try to think an example in which through the RS485 the autopilot is commanding some actuator. So what we need to do is that if we want to send some variable, for example, the one correlated with the movement of that actuator to the actuator itself, what we will need to do is just to link here the RS45. Imagine that we want also to receive some data from the actuator, maybe with the real displacement or something like this. We will just bind bidirectionally a custom message to the RS45. You will see that binding bidirectionally, it add directly also here the RS custom message 0 to the RS45. Now imagine that we want to command the pusher motor, for example. Imagine that the protocol of the actuator is expecting to receive a matcher. We can just easily put like a matcher and then a certain value of the matcher. For example, now I put 56, which will be correlated to the matcher X38. Then if I want to send the actual variable which will command the actuator, I will just need to select on the variable the pusher motor, and here I can select the compression if I want to send the bits, if I want to send like uncompressed, so 64 bits, or if I want to send the integer and so on. And that's it. Imagine that this was the protocol to send the data, and now I want to obtain some data from the same actuator through the same communication port. So what I will need to do is just to recreate a custom message 0. So imagine that now I expect another matcher. So I'm expecting for enter the message with this value, and I want to overwrite the variable, the data that the actuator sent to me in a user variable in order to save that value and to use it in the block program for something else, for the control logic, for the guidance, for also custom block programs that can be used in the automations, and so on. So I'm just obtaining this data through this. This can be done for the movement actuators, but also for sensors themselves. We can have magnetometer which are connected to RS-45, and we want just to save this value and use this in for external sensor. The same will be more or less for the CAN setup, in which we just need to associate some ID to the data that we are receiving, and we can select between the two CAN that Veronte can work. This was just meant to be a brief overview of how to set up input and output connection in Veronte. I invite you to check the manual both for what concern the CAN setup, in which the configuration, the input out filter, the serial to CAN, the custom message generation, and the mailboxes are explained to have a better understanding of everything, and also for what concern the input output setup and all the possibility that you have to create your own custom message. For any further information, please don't hesitate to contact us. Thank you for your attention and see you in the next videos.